And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for like probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say it
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson. I pointed at me when I said Sean. I pointed at Sean when I said Joe. It's one of those Thursdays. We're talking about the Tush Push news that came yesterday, debating if we agree with this decision for it to come back or not. Bills were announced on Hard Knocks. We're going to cover just excitement for it and then a little bit of history on the success of teams that have appeared on Hard Knocks. It's been considered to be a bit of a curse. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the updated change to the seeding format for the college football playoff, of course, as well as Hell Yeah, Get After the Week. And I guess a variation of the hack bag that we're doing this week. We're doing something a little different because you wanted to
it'll
talk
be
about...
in my get F.
So we're still doing the hack bag.
Well, we got to have some hack bag questions, of which
Okay.
we could maybe outsource in the chat tonight. Thank you very much, everybody. Would appreciate that.
Well, before we get into today's show, Sean, can you share with our listeners a word from BetOnline?
Sure, BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for all your sports betting action, and a great live read to have at the beginning of the show while your co-host eats Pocky Sticks right into the mic. Please continue. I wouldn't mind it.
I'm done eating them.
You're done? You closed them out?
Yeah.
Here's why I don't like that vending machine and why I won't use it. Just about everything in there. Our building got a new vending machine. They took out the healthy snack machine. They put in like a mini bodega with like Band-Aids and all these snacks. All those snacks in there, I could get at work. So like I'm not going to go. I don't think
it's not a unique selection.
I'm not buying a Kit Kat from there because there's Kit Kats at my work for free, which I could nab, but I don't because I shouldn't. So I'm not going to pay for them here. What I will spend my money on is betting on baseball. That is what I will contribute some funds to because betting on baseball makes baseball so much fun. The pitch clock actually makes it watchable.
We need the overlay on, by the way. I just noticed that.
Oh, good Lord. That is on me. You will get an overlay after the read. How about that there, Joe?
Sorry.
The largest selection of odds on everything, MLB, NHL, UFC, BetOnline remains the number one online source for all your sports wagering info. Don't lie to yourself. You're going to want to bet on the next game between the Pacers and the Knicks. Do it at BetOnline. It's going to be a monster series, people. Get in on the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Of course, as I start to declare myself a revived Knicks fan, they have one of the most frustrating losses that I've ever watched happen in a playoff game.
You're back?
Well, I was back after I watched them beat the Celtics in person. I was fully bought in, and then I see them beat the Celtics and move on from that series. And then I'm thinking, feeling all good about myself watching the game last night, only for them to blow that lead to freaking Halliburton, who prematurely celebrated, and they still couldn't beat the Pacers.
It was cold, ice cold.
No, it's not. You can't prematurely celebrate and it be ice cold.
I might be Team Pacers. Halliburton is like player of the playoffs. He's exceptional. You're not allowed to come back, by the way. You're not allowed to be a Knicks fan.
Don't tell me what to do.
You said I'm done forever. You said I'm done forever. I'm a Clippers fan now. You said I'm done.
You're a Wizards fan. I don't want to hear it.
I'm in poverty.
Your team sucks.
They do. You're not allowed back on this bandwagon.
You can't tell me what to do. This bandwagon, it's not your bandwagon. It's my bandwagon. I can get back on if I want to. I live in New York now. I don't have a reason to root for the Clippers. I don't live in LA anymore.
So if you ended up moving to Boston, would you become a Celtics fan?
No, because I was
but James Dolan.
I'm
done with him.
Screw you.
I bet you smiled when he passed that ball a kid. You saw that video where he pulled up an SUV?
No, I still don't like Dolan. I think he's been less vocal. He's been less out there. So it's been a little bit more tolerable lately. And I think that's a big reason why they've been more successful.
He kicked Charles Oakley out of a game, Joe.
I think he's still a piece of shit. I don't like Dolan. I'm not saying I like him.
You're not allowed to go back. You denounced them.
You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do.
That's true. I can't. But I can completely.
What are you going to do about it?
I will disrespect every basketball opinion that you would have.
This isn't a basketball. What if I had a good basketball take? What have I ever had a good basketball take?
Well, I'd almost rather you try to do that. I don't like you getting the city's buzzing. You denounced this team for the Clippers. The Clippers were in the playoffs. I didn't see, where was the cheers for Harden and Kawhi when they were at least winning a couple games in the playoffs? Were you doing that? Or are you waiting for the Knicks to get to the
what they
Eastern
did
Conference
this year
Finals?
is what they've done every single year for the last 5 years. Oh, this could be the year the Clippers. They got the team, they got the defense. Look at the defense that they got. Oh yeah, one of the guys that they need to be available is not available. That's what happens every single year. They're gonna be a poverty team.
What about the wall? Soon. Weren't you excited about the wall with all the fans? The
only thing I was excited about, I wanted to try the toilets in the stadium, but I didn't get to try the toilets.
Who's their big honky 40? Is that Zubac?
Yeah, Ivica Zubac.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's a good player. He's going to be all they have in like 2 years when Kawhi and James Harden retire. Okay, we're not here to talk about
Clippers fan.
This is a
football show. You're not allowed
show.
to be a Knicks fan.
I can do whatever the want. You can eat it.
Well,
get effed.
I can do whatever the
get
want.
Effed. Sean, yesterday it was announced that the most controversial play in the NFL, the Tush Push, is going to be allowed to continue. Now, we're going to discuss if we believe that this is the right measure, if we think that this is a fair decision for the NFL for it to allow to continue. The owners needed to have 24 votes that were in favor of this. Wait, I'm misreading this. They needed 24 votes in order for this thing to not go through.
Yeah,
22 to 10 was how the vote ended up coming out. Now, for people that want clarification on what the rule is and if it's actually legal, I didn't know this. In the mid-2000s, the NFL removed the rule that prevented pushing from happening, but it is still illegal to pull a player into the end zone. To illustrate the degree of success, Sean, that this play has, the Eagles in 2022 converted on 93% of these attempts. In 2023, 83%, 2024, 81%. There is a stark difference and an indication here of how this play is not automatic because other teams who attempt it are only converting on 71%. The Eagles have 27 touchdowns and 92 first downs in the 3 seasons that they have used it. With all that information available to you, do you believe that this was smart and fair to be allowed to continue?
I think it's fair. I like the Tush Push. I like that it's big manly football. I like that it's impossible. It's a great storyline. And the most fun part about this play staying involved with the game is that there were 9 other owners that said it was cool to stay. So whatever ties they have with Philly, or if they're trying to work some type of Tush Push on their own, that's great. Work it. Most important layer, Joseph, came from Jerry Jones himself, who stated, I don't know if I was voting against the play or against the Eagles. Sometimes I'll flip-flop. I love it. I love that part of Jerry Jones. We will criticize, and we have criticized Jerry Jones up and down this year for being an incompetent GM, for not adding enough talent, the mediocre hire of Schlappenheimer. This subterfuge and sabotage, and I'm voting against it because they're the Eagles, because I'm the owner of the Cowboys. I can't get enough of it. This is old school football talk and maneuvering. This isn't the sleek James Gladstone dickhead. I'm going to be so smooth and silky. He's the GM of the month. There are other
stop
GMs.
hating Gladstone.
Stop thinking you're Gladstone.
I don't think that I'm Gladstone. Stop hating on Gladstone.
Okay.
Stay on topic.
Why don't you just watch your hands over there?
Stop it.
James Gladstone is a freak.
We're not talking about James Gladstone.
I'm talking about Jerry Jones taking a stand for classic NFL. I'm talking about Jerry Jones standing up for rivalry, for not taking this shit from Philly anymore, from I'm going to stick you one in your ribs because you were the Super Bowl champ. If Philly was 4-10 and using this play all the time, he wouldn't give a damn. He said, let him keep doing that. It sucks anyways. Because it's working, Jerry wants an edge. I like that type of Jerry. I hope they collude and they get it banned next year. We get a huge talking point this same day next year. I hope it happens.
I think that's what's kind of funny about this is that we could inevitably get this future where this gets voted on every single year if the Eagles continue to have success. As I dug into this, the more I've realized it's less of like, oh, I'm in favor of the Tush Push. I almost just don't care. And I think that that's how everybody should view it. It's a play. It's a play in the game that one team figured out how to execute it at the highest level. A lot of the detractions against it are either it causes injuries, which it doesn't. The NFL apparently dug into this. There is not evidence to support that it does cause injuries, especially because it happens on such a small number of times in a season. It's 3-4 times in a game. We think that it happens more. We think it's more in front of our faces just because we notice it so much. And the other counter argument, which is really stupid and lame, is it's not a football play. It's just, you're just pushing and shoving. It's a sport based on physicality and brute strength. We should be supporting someone deciding to go back to the roots of the sport and say, we're going to jam somebody up someone's ass for a first down or a touchdown. We don't care. We're just going to ramp. We're going to do the most meat-headed, simplified approach while all these other stupid teams are doing studies on tight end motion to figure out what it's going to create for them, what sort of imbalance it could open up on the field. No, we've got Sirianni, who's such a big meathead in Philadelphia, who fits the tone, who's saying, just screw it. We're going to run it down your throat to the furthest extent possible. I think the biggest part about this, though, is realizing the big gap in separation that most teams cannot execute and succeed at doing this as effectively as they can. It should only be banned if everybody was using it and it was like over 90% success rate. Like it's an auto first down. It's not an auto first down. Teams have figured out how to slow it down. Their ability to succeed at doing it has gone down to 81%. So that kind of illustrates that defenses have figured this out. But the fact that 71% of teams outside of the Eagles that try this teams that are trying to do this that aren't the Eagles are only converting on 71%, 10% less, shows that they just don't have the chops, the toughness, the grit, the type of players in order to get it done.
It's also the reps. It's that the Eagles will rep it out all summer and get used to it and really feel what the play is supposed to be. Jason Kelce, as annoying as he may be on a podcast and post-football, you cannot disagree that he was an exceptional football player and a great NFL center. He stated, I'll come out of retirement today if you tell me all I got to do is run 80 tush pushes to run the NFL. I'll do that gladly. It'll be the easiest job in the world. Now, he's kind of the Lord Vanderbilt of the tush push, where he's built for it. He knows it better than anyone. He works it better than anyone. Who's there?
Juergens.
Juergens has been good in replicating that Kelce role in the interior for the Eagles. But I like it. When Kelce actually talks football like this, yeah, go ahead. You want to mix it up? You want to have a bunch of 350-pounders lying on top of you? Get up and do it again? That fires me up also. I like a lot of the nuances of the play. It is hard. It is it's the wedge. You played Little League football.
Yeah.
I played Little League football.
Yeah.
One of the first plays you're ever taught in Little League football is the wedge, where the center snaps the ball. Everyone takes a snap to the center. Quarterback just stays behind the wedge. And you know what you do? You get 4 yards because it's Little League. Seeing the wedge take place in the NFL is genius because they just dumbed it all down. You're right. It's not a 22 personnel where we have motion and a wide receiver, an X receiver that's playing the slot, and everyone's moving and there's an orbit and a fake orbit. No. This is the goddamn wedge. And you're going to get wedged. Learn how to break the wedge.
Wedge right up your ass.
Dude, yeah, wedge it right up the ass. I love it. I hope players keep on flying over the top also. It's fun for football that there's a play that is this enraging, and I'm only feeling this way. I'm only feeling a little bit ballsy because my team beat the tush push last year. I got to see Atlanta beat
is
Philly.
that what this is?
That's why I'm a little ballsy, because I feel like they could do it again if they played again, even though that was a miracle Kirk win in the last second collapse by the Eagles. But you won the game. If you win the game against the tush push, it feels incredible. And the Bills use them more than the Eagles also. So what's everyone crying about?
Well, right. The only other team that I think is as primed to do it successfully is the Bills, because you've got the bigger, meatier version of Jalen Hurts.
The Colts should be doing it. The Colts should be running on first down.
So I very quickly looked up. I was kind of curious if we could throw a player, like if we could pick up and throw a player. You can't do that. No offensive player may live to throw the runner to advance him. That's disappointing. I think that we need to go backwards here. I think that if the Eagles really wanted to pull off a troll job, they need to pitch next offseason that they want to be able to throw someone. Because could you imagine a new roster position is created Deuce Vaughn suddenly becomes the most valuable player in the NFL because he can just throw him.
That was the Mike
Just
Leach
throw him
plan.
as far as you can.
The Pirate wanted to try to institute a very small player.
Was that
over
what
the
it
goal
was,
line.
or that was what the plan was?
That was
Okay.
this past year. It's college football Reddits, but so
Right.
you never really know, and especially because now R.I.P. Mike Leach is deceased. I don't have like confirmation. I can't call them and say, "Hey, were you actually playing?" It's not like that answer, but the idea of Mike Leach sitting in the meeting room, like, how come no one's ever thought of this? Could we do it? Could someone look that? Hey, GA, could you look this up for me? Get in that big rule book of yours. Start scanning for throwing very small people over the line of scrimmage.
Well, I literally, but I just looked it up though. You can't get away with it. It sounds like. I have a pitch for you. Okay, this is a pitch for you. I'm not saying that we do it for this upcoming year, but like in the next 5 years, let's call it the next 5 years. What that Wrexham show, kind of giving the same vibes of this. What if we found a local high school team and we just ran the wing tee with it and we ran the team? I think we could pitch some school that we could run the wing tee to absolute efficiency. Like co-head coaches, one of us coaches the offense, one of us coaches the defense. I think we could totally pitch somebody into doing it.
Do you
full
know
camera crew, everything? We get exposure for the school. We'll promise funding that we don't have.
Here's the thing. It's going to take 3 years for a freshman class to become juniors and really know how to run the wing tee. I actually, my old high school, Mount Vernon High School in Alexandria, Virginia. I went back to watch a game with my dad because he was helping on the defensive staff.
Really?
Yeah, he was just helping out. One of my neighbors was coaching on the team, so he thought, I'll lend a hand with
Like
the
a high
D-line.
school team?
Yeah, high school team.
Okay.
And I show up and I'm sitting down. He's got his notebook. I'm like, all right, well, watch the game with me. Tell me what you think. Give me some notes. I'm like, okay, I can do that with you. This is a fun moment. I come out. I sit down, kickoff. Majors get the ball. They're running the wing tee. They're running it.
What did you run in high
Just
school?
standard BS offense inside zone.
I love that how that's
and
the
throw it
descriptor.
deep. Yeah.
That was what we were running too. We were running just random BS offense. It was nothing that was like, exactly created. I honestly couldn't describe what we did. We ran like a really shitty West Coast offense with a quarterback who couldn't.
Yeah, we had to
throw the ball.
It was quarterback is the fastest. Quarterback, you get one read and then take off, and that's what it was. Or we had 4 D1 players on my team. We had 2 wins. It was really, really with a competent coach or some coaches, we could have won games.
Been running the wing tee.
I tell you what,
Cam Ward ran the wing tee. Who's above running the wing tee?
This team could have ran the hell out of the wing tee. We played a kid on Villanova for 3 years that went to my high school. Same class. He would have been electric in the wing tee. I love the wing tee, but they lost, and because they're small bodies, you need the actual commitment from the O-line to run the wing tee.
I think that we get all the offensive linemen just cut blocking. I don't know if that's going to work or not.
It's not allowed. You can't cut block. You can't high low. No,
I know you can't high low, but you can't. Is cut blocking not allowed anymore?
Not digging the cut. You can't. I don't think you can cut block between the guards.
I used to cut block every play.
Well, I think
you can
almost get away with it if you fake a fall down. Where sometimes if I was on the turf for whatever reason, I just start rolling. Like I fell and I'm looking for ankles. I'm looking for knees to cut.
You shouldn't be cut blocking. You're actually big enough to block. You shouldn't be cut blocking.
This is when I actually fell down. I'd get up and I kind of stumble and try to cut block somebody and try to get them down.
Okay.
I mean, the cut block's super like if you're a tackle and you got somebody that's about to bull you straight to hell, just cut his ass right down the line of scrimmage. It's a good feeling.
See before we move on, how did the Hoboken High School football team do in this past year? Do they have?
Why don't you pitch this to Paramus and Bergen? See how Bosco. See how they do with it.
Yeah. Don Bosco's. Oh, they went 3-6 this year. I don't know, man. They might need us. We can walk to the field every single day. They're not playing a very hard schedule. They're only playing Shabazz. They actually played Verona pretty close, which is a good program. I don't know, man.
I'd almost rather run
on.
I got to see the team first. I got to see the team if I want them to run that or the wishbone or the triple option.
Wait a minute. This score can't be correct. Their last game of the year, they won 6-2 over North Bergen. They won 6-2.
So it had to have been North Bergen gets the
extra
safety
point and a safety.
Bergen gets the safety. and then they try to go for 2 to keep it to what would that be? 6-point game. And then they don't get the 2-point conversion.
Is there a box score for this?
God, that's ugly.
I love
Try to find some film on that game.
This is a team that I can coach. They won 6-2. That's going to be every single score.
Who you got, Lieb? You're trying to coach low-level scores here?
Yeah. I think that we can produce a winner running the wing T. I mean, what's like what's like an older, more simplified version of the wing T? Like, let's go even further.
You want to do a toss sweep? Yeah,
we
could
just
run. You want to run toss sweep to hell? We could run toss sweep to hell.
What was the Vince Lombardi play?
Toss sweep.
It was toss sweep.
Yeah. Obviously, you had power too.
What do we run on defense? What kind of defense we running?
5 down.
So we're just running bare front.
Yeah, 5 down all the time.
Are we not?
There's
are
always
we not trusting our DBs. You're saying that we're just going to send pressure.
Well, okay. I'd like to run a base 5 down. At least in the first quarter to really find out where the weak link on the offensive line is. Okay. And then we get our best player on defense to just eviscerate that kid all game. And then
so you're the defensive coordinator
after sack.
We've decided you're the defensive
I played
coordinator.
offense in college. I have more experience. You have more experience at collegiate defense in some fashion.
Not really.
Because the punt team has to tackle. Offense is all offense. How many defensive meetings was I in?
There's a lot of former offensive linemen that went on to be defensive coordinators.
Oh, I'd coach the hell out of that team. I know exactly how to break down. I could find the weak spot of an offense. Just, maybe I should be on the defense.
I think that you could coach this up.
I'd punish some Jersey guards that were just trying to get a letter that just don't belong on the field. Those kids would not like football after I went against them.
I think that we could put together a real coaching staff here. I think that we could produce a real winner.
Here's what I want to do, though.
Okay.
I want to coach in full pads. Like baseball, like a baseball manager. You know how a baseball manager will have a full jersey and they'll have cleats and they'll have the pants on.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But it's less ridiculous than whatever Gabe Kapler was doing, sexy Gabe Kapler. I want to be in practice in full pads. Not as like a gimmick, but like, don't make me get in there and start showing you how to block and shed blocks.
I don't think that's allowed.
I'd rather be in full pads and have everyone protected than me, not in full pads.
There's gonna be some big ass kid that's gonna put you that's gonna put your ass into the ground.
I had to jump over this table.
I did that a while ago.
I had to jump over this table and
ago.
sock you right on the bridge of your nose. It looks
surprised.
That is.
I'm surprised you didn't hear it.
I didn't, but it's ruminating. That's foul. That is foul. That is.
I'm a bad co-host. I'm sorry.
I mean, you actually cleared the gap right under the table for me. That's disgusting.
I didn't think it would.
You know what I do for you?
What?
I broadcast in shoes every show. I got shoes on right now. You know why? Because my feet stick
Those
like
are
hell.
Slippers. Those are slippers.
Do they contain my feet?
They do.
So you know what I do? To preserve you and your mental health and well-being, I wear shoes so you don't have to smell my feet. You crank ass once a show, and it sneaks under this table, and you get 2 minutes of immunity, and then it rises up. And I just get the full face of it.
The mistake that I keep making is that the crosswind from the window being open pushes in your direction. I'm thinking, that it's going to get sucked out. But the problem is it sucks it in your direction on its way out of the room.
You know what's even worse than the shark that I think you just ominously let out? You're calling it it's a cross breeze. And I've yelled at crosswind. Not crosswind. You're breaking wind. And it's crossing over to me.
What's the difference?
The cross breeze is the actual term.
What's a crosswind?
I don't know what a crosswind is. You made that up.
I don't think so.
Joe, it's a cross breeze because the breeze goes across.
Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. All right, Sean, it was announced this week that the Bills are going to be the team featured on Hard Knocks this season. This is a push in a completely different direction because we're used to seeing very crappy teams. The NFL changed the rules for eligibility for the team that is allowed to be featured during training camp. So now we have an actual team that's got fun storylines that has Super Bowl implications on the line. I've got a little bit of research I dug into to kind of discuss the curse that comes with being on Hard Knocks. But before we get to that, your thoughts on the Bills taking over here?
Boring. The Bills are boring. I like the Bills are a good team. The Bills are a really good team. McDermott, I think his quotes read better than they would be spoken because Sean McDermott, out of context, hint, hint, you're going to have to dig a little on this one, is an insane person, but we're not going to go relaying the things that he said in locker rooms. I don't think that's going to be the Sean McDermott that we get. Josh Allen, big fun goofball, but we're watching big fun goofball, all of Hard Knocks.
Well, as long as we get a little Haley Steinfeld, just like a couple of shots of her, I think we're fine.
You know what? I don't think she's going to be appearing in the show unless
you think that she's going to be hiding from the camera.
The Bills are just a good team with great depth, and they don't have like any really like Keon Coleman is probably gonna be good. I think he's a really funny character. He's a great character for the league.
He's going to be in the first minute of the show. I'm guaranteeing that.
Yeah, but he's a good dude. There's no heel on the Bills. There's no one that you look on the Bills and say
Joey Bosa.
Oh, well, some people have a problem with Bosa. Some people, I forgot Bosa might be getting some screen time.
First episode, and I think this is playing to your point. There's no tension that comes with. There's no tension that comes with the Bills because they've made the playoffs. I think 6 of every single season in the last 6 years is what I read. There's no personalities that haven't really been uncovered because they're featured so much.
Yeah.
There's so many clips of Josh Allen being a goofball. Everybody's the lovable big goober of the NFL that also happens to be built like a horse, incredibly fast, and a cannon for an arm. We don't know so much about him. Keon Coleman, we've seen and heard from him. The camera crew's going to follow him around. I bet he's going to be sick of that by the end of it, and he's not going to be as funny or interesting. And then we're going to, we're going to get in the first episode, we're going to get Ed Oliver on a horse.
Love
we're
that.
Get Ed Oliver on a horse. How many times have we seen Ed Oliver on a horse?
I'll take that every time. I love Ed Oliver on a horse. I think it's going to be way more, how do we finally get to the Super Bowl, everybody? It's going to be the big dun-dun music, and it's going to be rising, and we got to get past the Chiefs, and everyone's fired up. This is the year. Good luck. We know how it goes in January. It's just up to you and the devil. And the devil keeps on winning against you, Buffalo. Sorry, you're too nice. You're too nice to be on Hard Knocks.
The thing that we're missing with Hard Knocks that has always been one of the most underrated aspects is idiot coaches. So we always had these bad teams based on what the last eligibility was, that typically they were on their last legs. There were a lot of times that we can think of where coaches were fired immediately after. Matt Eberflus is the most recent example.
Yeah.
There is tension involved with that. And you know what we got to see the entire time? Oh my God, this guy is a moron. It painted the picture, and it probably led to his firing because I think it really put things into focus of like, oh my God, why did he get another shot? Listening to him talk to Caleb Williams, you see the way that they're interacting, and you're kind of thinking Caleb can kind of read through this, what this is, that there is not the same degree of intensity and focus of what a normal NFL team should have. That is what made it entertaining. You're kind of laughing along thinking, I wonder if these group of morons are going to get this team to the playoffs. Shocker, they don't. Instead, we have McDermott, who could say something wrong, but he's probably going to be censoring himself 100%, and they don't usually show those things in the show. I think a good example of depicting this is when Gruden and the Raiders were featured. Mayock and Gruden were TV guys. They're also really smart. That was one of the most boring seasons that I can remember, despite it being the most chaotic circumstance with Antonio Brown. We didn't get to see any of it.
Crazy year.
That's an example, though, of like when we have smart coaches that know how to censor everything, it's not interesting. It's not.
I'd take the Browns Hard Knocks with that quarterback room. David Flacco-Berry. How about a clown show? Colts
would have been fun.
That would be stellar. I'd take a Chargers just for Harbaugh.
Cardinals with Jonathan Gannon with that. Or Jaguars would have been hilarious.
I would have hate watched the Jaguars every minute.
Oh my God, the Jaguars would have been perfect.
Better options, and the Bills are like they're a great sweetheart team. They're some people hate the Bills. I don't get it. Maybe I just have I've grew up with people that have love for the Bills and family in Buffalo, so it's not like I was ever a fan, but I was never like anti-Bills, and I've never been. Some people that hate the Bills confuse me. They're just like a sweetheart team. People like them. They're fun. They've got good uniforms. They play in unique circumstances where once a year you get to see them play in a blizzard. Maybe twice a year that happens. Like they give you everything in football. That's great. But for Hard Knocks, reality TV football, bad choice.
Mm.
Bad choice. You don't want to put a camera crew on the stable housewives of Reno. You want to find the terrible housewives of Phoenix and really bite into that and sink into those people because they're creating the drama. They have the tension. Everyone just sitting around high-fiving all day. It's not good TV.
No, right. And I know that we've actually recently we've surprisingly had a lot more successful teams. So 2021, the Cowboys, that one was at least interesting because it's Jerry Jones, Zeke, Dak. They went 12-5 and they lost in the wild card round. 2020, the Rams went 10-6 and they lost in the divisional round. It Stafford was on the team by then.
2020 with the Rams? Yeah, you won in 2019.
2022 was an exciting, interesting one because it was the polar opposite of the idiot coach. It was the super intense coach. The compelling story of Dan Campbell turning around the Lions. They missed the playoffs. They still went 9-8. But for the most part, I mean, we've had some horrible seasons. 2016, Rams went 4-12. 2007, Chiefs went 4-12. 2017, the Bucs went 5-11. 2002, Cowboys went 5-11. 2014, Falcons went 6-10.
That was a bad year. Mike Smith's last year.
2023, the Aaron Rodgers injury. Jets went 7-10. 2019, Raiders went 7-9. Another example of like an awful team that still managed to not really get much of a compelling storyline. Dolphins 2012, 7-9. Browns 7-8-1 in 2018. And then there were a couple of good teams, like the Bengals were on it a million times over, and we got the Ravens in 2001. That Ravens team was at least interesting.
Yeah, that was actually like you have a ton of characters, and they're also good. Shannon Sharp, Ray Lewis, Tony Siragusa, Ed Reed. You have a bunch of guys that like are good for the screen, but they're not TV guys. That's when football players were football players, though. It's a little different now. Like everyone's just gonna be steezing on camera. I think
I think you're right.
It's just steez now. You're not gonna get guys. Maybe you get guys in shirts and shorts, but I mean, there's too much production. It's not just camera in a room. It's camera flashes and transitions and fast wipes. I take any team in the. I would always take a Jets Hard Knocks. I would always take a Cowboys Hard Knocks. I'm trying to think. I might always take a Steelers Hard Knocks or a Browns. Like those teams are just, they always have something cooking. They always have something entertaining. The Giants, I entertain, but there's so much of a calamity that I'd actually start like feeling bad, even though they give us so much content. It's just, how long are you going to watch a sick cat be sick, right? You can't really.
All right, calm yourself down. Calm yourself down.
You pointed out my team. They had a shit year for 2014.
Falcons aren't interesting. I don't know. Nobody wants to watch the Falcons.
No, Bijan's too likable. Penix is super likable. Pitts is boring. London is like a.
There's no one controversial.
Yeah, there's no one. Defense sucks.
Cowboys this year would have been a nut show.
Pickens, CD.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Schottenheimer would have tried to be so hardo,
dude.
He would have tried to be like. He would have been so hardo, and then tried to be like, hey. I try to connect with the players. Oh, none of you guys can hoop. None of you like the O'Connell stuff.
Right.
Ew.
Oh my God.
He would have been the king of that.
We would have been so blessed if they had allowed for the Cowboys to do it. This was the year to do it. Not 2020. Not during that crap where we watched Jerry Jones dump salt on a hamburger. Schottenheimer and this cast of goofballs with George Pickens featured every single episode. That's the funniest part, the best part about watching it. Anyone who's played football, we both played in college. We know what the fights are like in practice.
Yeah.
Not fun for the team, but it's fun to watch from a distance.
Oh, how was that? Was that fun for you?
Yeah, it was really fun for me.
I bet it was. Thanks for stepping in and helping me out in all those.
Whose side do I pick? Whose side am I supposed to pick with a full
Why
field
would you
fight?
take my side?
You know what would have happened to me if I sprinted onto the field during a fight?
I've seen special teams fight. You guys were just forced to run laps afterwards. Our fight, we got back to practice. I could have used you in a couple of them.
I don't know.
Just get down there, start biting ankles. Help me out.
With a helmet on?
Pop the helmet off.
It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
I was getting black eyes from thumbs just jammed in my eye. And I'm sitting here, where are my friends? Oh, there's Joe. Overhand snap drill. Overhand snap
I
drill.
can't pick a side.
Oh, is Joe going to help me?
I got
No.
more defensive guys next to me during.
Joe's on his phone. No, I would have been.
I'm not on my phone during practice.
Joe, are you in a call?
Fuck you.
Are you on a call? I'm getting my head crushed in right now. I've got
you.
defensive linemen
Screw you.
kicking my legs. Put the coffee down, DeLeone.
Screw you. Coaster used to go out to practice with cups of coffee. Don't act like that.
Did he really?
I think there was one time that he did, and Donnie threw a fit.
Donnie should have just thrown the cup of coffee at him. Said, you know what? I don't care, dude. You can't do that.
God. There are so many interactions between the two of them that I wish I could have written down that I just don't remember. It's like watching.
Why don't you film it? You had the iPhone right there.
I didn't have my phone out in practice. All right, we got to talk about the college football playoff changes. It broke today, Sean, that the college football playoff is fixing itself for the better. And what is changing, we're not talking about them expanding from 12 to 16 teams. We're instead talking about an adjustment to seeding. The college football playoff will adopt a straight seeding model for its 12-team bracket starting in 2025. Under the new format, teams will be seeded strictly according to the College Football Playoff Selection Committee's final rankings, rather than giving special priority to conference champions. In practice, this means the top 4 teams in the rankings, regardless of conference affiliation, will receive first-round buys. And that was what a big gripe was, is that Boise and Arizona State were taking spots and buys for teams that had earned it. Those teams were good. They got a spot in the playoff. They won their conferences, but it is not enough to justify them being given a bye over a team that had a far more compelling and difficult schedule. Do you think that this was the right move?
Yeah, I think it was the right move. It's a fair move. I'll give it that. It's at the very least, it's fair. And people that are making it an argument to say, well, we've already, changed everything about the college football landscape, and it doesn't look like we're ever going to go back. Let's at least try to straighten it out while we can. That's fine with me. You are in the number 6 spot. You shouldn't be moved around anywhere but the number 6 spot. That's something that my big caveman brain can make sense. It's not something I have to sit up here and yell about. My yelling about is let's just get it all over with right now, because this was pitched before the expanded playoff was pitched. And when all the developments were coming out about conference realignment and the 40-team Super League, and everyone's going to get bumped down into the 2 shelves. You're either in the 40 or you're in the rest of the 90. Let's just do it now, because the just parceling it out into small bits. Am I wrong? Like everything they've said would happen.
That we can't.
They're going to expand to 14 next, and they're going to expand to 16
it's
after.
going right to 16. It's not going to 14.
Oh, so we're saving a year on that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Just do it when we go to 16. Just one clean.
We're not at that point. And
but what are we waiting for? This is a good move, but right now, if it's just going to be like
an analogy that came up in my head, but I can't use it. It would have been. God, I really want to use this analogy. I'm debating if I should. No, I'm not gonna. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, gotcha. I would just prefer that the year in, year out minor changes that we all knew was going to happen in 2022 that kept on getting pitched. Let's just do it, because it's not going to keep on being. I'm not going to have my world shaken by stuff that I already knew was going to happen. This is fine. This is at least a move that I'm not insulted by, so I appreciate it.
Okay, here you fired off a tweet in the middle of the show.
I try to get people in live. If you did that, we'd get more viewers live also. Is one tweet over an hour show? That's not going to cut it. I tried to tweet
No. I'm not giving you shit for firing off the tweet. I just don't know how you managed to type that. I didn't even notice you did it.
Sometimes you talk. Sometimes you give me 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. I don't talk that long. Making that jump to what you're asking for, I know you're almost saying it sarcastically. We're not going to get there that quickly. This is a multi-step process, nor do I think many people believe that is the best future for the sport. That's not going to, if that ever happens, it's not going to happen for 20 years. I don't think people realize the amount of things that need to happen between then and now. We're trying to get through this house case settlement. And the next step after the house case settlement is creating what they're calling the college sports commission and then hiring a CEO. I'm sure you've heard me yelling about it with Blake
Saban and their his gas
completely,
buddy. That's different.
Completely a different thing. Because the CEO of this, that is the presidential commission to problem solve. That was put on pause apparently today, which this paints the whole picture. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. They're just saying that they're going to do things and they're taking a step back from doing those things. This is actually a part of the House case settlement of hiring somebody to be in charge of delivering penalties to schools that do not follow the new structure of the sport when it comes to recruiting, NIL, tampering, all of those things, the transfer portal, all of that shit. I keep thinking that the ice is somebody knocking.
That one sounded like a knock. I'll give you one. That
one sounded like a knock.
Normally I know it's ice, but that one made my eyebrows go up.
Yeah, that one scared me.
Hello.
I got worried. Of all times when we're not yelling at each other about shitting in the room, it's the most calm conversation that we're having. After that happens, we then have to survive what is going to probably be maybe multiple years of litigation against the College Sports Commission, despite the purpose of the College Sports Commission to get teams to sign into it to agree not to sue the College Sports Commission. All these states are going to put together laws that allow for the schools to sue. It is
the loyalty pledges and all that. Yeah,
it is a shit show of a mess. So what you're asking
sign
for,
this paper so you can't sue us. Good luck. Like you've never been around college football with all these savages trying to get an edge against each other. Yeah. I'm sure it's all going to work. Here's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be 20 years, though. When's that big ESPN deal with SEC and the Big Ten? Is that 2031, I believe?
I think no contract expert.
I think that takes place then. It's either renewing, or expiring. That's when we see it. That's when we see the big shift. We're going to start pulling the top 5 from the ACC and the Big 12 and maybe Notre Dame. If you guys sign the pledge, I'd hope you would sign the pledge.
This is, by the way, an added piece to this. Notre Dame can now get a bye. So that was what one of the biggest ramifications was oh, no, Notre Dame, you're not, the highest you can be ranked is 5. Now, theoretically, if they finish as good as they can, they would be in consideration for a bye.
You know what? I actually respect it because you guys went out on a limb and booked 5 games against the ACC. That really is bye-inducing. I'm sure. Why don't you go?
Notre Dame is playing Miami, Arkansas, and Texas A&M this year.
Texas A&M is shit on a platter, and you know it.
They're one of the better SEC teams.
They trotted into that stadium last year and got away with one. If they didn't have nerves,
it was the first year of Mike Elko.
If they didn't have nerves because they were playing in loud-ass Texas A&M stadium, they would have smoked them, and they'll smoke them again this year.
Well, they're playing them at home this year.
Well, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm excited.
You're not a Notre Dame fan.
Let's go, dude.
The game's sold out. We can't go. Do you want to go to the Boston College game?
Is that at Boston College or Notre Dame?
It's at
cool.
Boston College.
And then we could do the Notre Dame handshake where we stick our hands through our zippers and shake our hands like that.
Okay. You suck. Bad person.
Every now and again, I get a quick one off on them. I'll take pride in that.
All right, let's move on to Hell Yeah, Get After the Week. Sean, play the sounder. This is Hell Yeah.
This is the Hack City Hell Yeah of the Week. Cue the lasers.
All right, my Hell Yeah of the Week. I sent this to Sean the other day. Sean knew about it, which shows the wavelength that we're both operating on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know when this was happening, and Sean pleasantly reminded me, and I added it to my calendar. Fox is airing an Oscar Mayer Wienermobile race. If you don't know what the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile is, you're living under a rock. It's the coolest thing ever. It is the coolest car ever. It's a giant fucking hot dog that has wheels and it drives around. Don't really know what happens inside of it. That's a really good question.
I think it's teams of 2 are going to be racing in these hot dogs.
Are they making hot dogs in there?
I hope so.
They better be making hot dogs in there. What do you think max speed is on it?
It's deemed
by the way, 2 p.m. on Friday on Fox Sports.
Yes, it's deemed the first quote meet spelled MEAT.
Yeah,
the meet off taking place 2 p.m. Eastern. I think that the Wienermobile could probably top out at about 80. Just because of the excess weight. Like even an old lemon on the speedometer, you're going to see it go up to 100. So I think it could touch 80 if we start going to 100. I wouldn't mind seeing the back of one of the wieners go up in flames.
So but this is being
we got a burn dog on the track.
This is the funniest part about this is that it's being done at the Indy 500 track.
Perfect.
The
best.
Is it a straight shot? Is it a circle? Are they going in it? Please be going in a circle.
I believe it's in a circle.
Oh,
if I know anything about
okay.
racing, it's a circle.
All I can think about is, and this is the calamity that I'm hoping for, but this is also a little dark that I'm rooting for this. I need one of them to crash into another one, man. I need
trade paint, rubbing his race.
No. I need a NASCAR level crash between two. I hope these guys are wearing helmets
for that. You can't do that.
Just a bunch of hot dogs that are just rolling around after one of them couldn't make a turn. No one knows how to drive these things. No one's driven these things at this fast of a speed.
They're out
Who's
about.
driving them? Are they actual race car drivers, or are they random schmucks that they just pulled in that work for Oscar Mayer?
Well, they're not. Could you imagine being in accounting and saying, "Hey, we're going to need you,
Randy."
Indy. Yeah, hey, Randy, you're going to be the co-pilot here."
It's just a raffle. They're just picking guys out of a hat.
Well, I hope because they made the hot dogs, whatever you want to call them.
These things are huge, by the way.
They're massive.
We're not talking about like a go-kart. This is a big encapsulated vehicle.
And each mobile will have its own style of hot dog that it's representing. Like there's a
I didn't know.
There's a Seattle dog, there's a chili dog, an NY dog, Chicago dog,
God, I'm so excited
like a
for
Kraut dog. There's all of it. So I'm hoping maybe they're pulling the racers from that, like the Seattle dog. I hope they're pulling the racers from Seattle. I'm sure it's just freelance race car drivers in Indianapolis that are like, "Hey, would you drive this thing? Would you give us a couple laps?" I'm rooting for it. I desperately
rooting for the crash.
I'm rooting for the race. I think it's awesome. This is what we should be doing.
You have no thoughts about the crash?
The crash. Here's my thing with the crash.
Man.
If I see a crash,
no one dies, this is or gets seriously hurt.
Okay, so
I'd like to think that there's a lot of cushioning in there. This isn't. I would think that they'd be even safer than crashing in a sports car or F1 car where it's just you and then the world around you. When those guys crash, it explodes pretty quickly.
There's an unethical way to talk about the crash, and I think we're doing it the ethical way here. Whereas if a hot dog car crashes over and it looks like a hot dog falling off of a table, I'm going to laugh pretty hard. Like that is, if it looks like a hot dog is rolling on the ground, I'm going to laugh.
If one of them explodes and somebody dies, obviously I'm not going to.
That would be a tragedy.
But if one of them starts rolling off the track, that's going to be hilarious.
Here's the thing. Also, all the sensitive Sarahs out there, they can hold it because look at the MLB entertainment races. I think that is it the Brewers?
No, it's the Nationals.
The Nationals do the president's race where all you're rooting for is a president to get knocked on his ass and then watch the big head bop. Yeah. There's a
which one does
a wiener race? I think it is the Brewers. There's a bratwurst, a knockwurst, a regular dog, and
then
a
knockwurst.
I think it's maybe it's a pork. I don't know what's inside a knockwurst. But you have all these things running around. It's basically a Wienermobile race, and all they're doing is falling around and twisting their ankles on an MLB field. You root for that, so we should be rooting for some type of destructive entertainment in this.
I would think that if they're going to, I need to know who pitched this, by the way. I mean, this is we got
promote them.
We have so many problems.
We might know who pitched this. Genuinely,
seriously, there are so many issues with TV rights contracts and just really awful television crews that are being put together and just bad commentary. And they understood it. 2 p.m. Memorial Day weekend. We've just created the greatest thing ever. This should be on Monday, by the way.
After Joey Chestnut pulled out of the hot dog eating competition because I guess he got bought out by plant-based meats.
Wasn't it something else that he got in trouble for something?
Did he get in trouble?
I think he did.
Did he get caught up or did he get in trouble? Because if he got caught up, then that changes some things. But we need some more hot dog entertainment in this land. I think the hot dog has been pretty much disrespected the last couple of years.
Yeah, he got banned. Oh, because he signed.
Yeah, because he signed on with a non-hot dog meat. And here's the thing: hot dog meat is basically plant-based meats, anyways. It's a bunch of
none of us know where that's.
It's a bunch of mush, and plant-based meat is a bunch of mush. So why are you taking a stand at hot dogs? If you were a steak eater, I can eat a 72-ounce steak guy before anybody else. I get it. Maybe you don't like the cows and their big eyes. This is a hot dog. This is a pig's asshole and a goat's eardrum, and it's getting mixed around, and I love it. I love it. I love a hot dog, and I'm a glizzy gobbler, glizzy throater, all of it. I am an elite consumer of the hot dog medium. Dude, the first time I really got yelled at by a coach was when I was playing travel basketball for the Mount Vernon Cardinal team or something like that, just our travel league in my area. And before a game, I had 5 hot dogs. I was like 10 years old. And my coach yelled at me because I was dragging ass on the court because I ate 5 hot dogs, but they were so good that I couldn't stop. I'm like, I'll just have a hot dog before the game. Went back 4 more times. I love hot dogs. I love the race. I'm excited for it. I want to be waving this checkered flag one day. I really want to.
I wonder what that would require. All right, what's your hell yeah of the week?
My hell yeah of the week here. I've been talking a lot of trash to Joe and to other people in my life about my baseball skills, and I've been saying I could strike you out. I was hanging out with some really actually qualified baseball players this past weekend and saying I could still throw 80. I'd get you out in the box, like all that. Gray Zabel, new Seattle Seahawk, dominated the entire social media video for the Seattle Seahawks because they went to the Mariners ballpark. They did batting practice. Joe, please, attention on the screen here briefly. Not that screen. Your screen in front of you. Gray Zabel, Curtis Rogers, tweet of the year. Gray Zabel looks like the power hitter in every 90s baseball movie. Look at that dude in that stance with that mustache, massive head, tiny helmet. Oh, you can't see it? Let's zoom in on the gentleman here. Holy hell, is this dude a 90s baseball player? He would have been in the race with McGuire and Sosa. I love this look. Hell yeah, Gray Zabel. Put on the tiny helmet. Never shave the mustache. Take God. Big daddy hacks. Love it. Hell yeah.
God, he's perfect for Seattle. I love this. I mean, this is fantastic.
He's a beer drinker. He's doing exactly what everybody should be doing when they get to go. All these athletes that get to go to the MLB stadiums and take batting practice, you're taking it for granted because you're kind of walking through the motions.
Right.
Get in the box
and start taking hacks.
Grip the bat and start taking daddy hacks. Hit a tank. Do it. Stop trying to look all smooth with a Ken Griffey swing, one arm. No. Choke up if you have to. All I want to do is take BP in a major league ballpark. It's all I want to do. I could sign up and do it. It'd be fine. I get 10 pitches. I'd whiff and get pissed off. That would be really unfortunate. But these premier athletes, when you have the opportunity, go for it. Gray Zabel did. And he made a fan out of me from it.
All right. I definitely made me a fan. Let's get effed.
I'm going to get effed here.
Get help?
I broke my knee, man.
No. Get effed.
I sup, son?
It's the Hack City Get Effed of the Week.
All right, my get effed of the week. I don't know if I love this one. I didn't have a lot to go off of this week. I had a bit of a flustered moment on Monday. I posted a clip cut up. I do this every single day. I post clip cut ups of prospects that I like. Good tape. I get a lot of fan bases that interact with it that just be like, yeah, this kid's going to be great. It's fun. It starts a conversation. Posted a cut up of Drew Shelton, offensive tackle for Penn State. Just trying to show his feet, trying to show how he knows how to use his hands. He just knows how to be in the right place. He moves well, moves easily. Had a bunch of tryhards going and commenting. It's way too many contain reps that you include on this play, meaning a lot of the defenders, 3-4 of the clips, the defenders were playing contain. For those that don't understand Penn State's offense, they run a lot of outside rushing concepts, meaning a lot of defenders are playing contain. They also don't run your typical passing concepts, so there's not a lot of pass protection situations for Drew Shelton. I'm calling this as my get effed, that at the initial point of posting this, I was really annoyed and I thought that I got caught. I got caught for not knowing what I was talking about, even though I do know what I'm talking about. I convinced myself for a good 2 hours I don't know what I'm talking about because I had 2-3 people chime in on this and say this.
What's wrong with you?
And I know I'm a
you
dumb man.
You had too much coffee? You started getting anxious?
I don't know. No, it wasn't anxious. Just like sometimes this happens. I'm like, man, am I a dumbass? And I just didn't watch the plays close enough that I thought this. And then James Franklin and Drew Aller both retweeted. And I'm like, okay, you know what? If those guys don't give a shit, then clearly this means a lot less than I think.
Is this humble brag of the week or is this
no? It's not. It's not. It's my point of that. Like I texted to you. I texted to a couple people. I'm like, am I overthinking this? And you, a former college offensive lineman, you pointed out to me yeah, this doesn't matter. He looks like he's moving really well. That's the whole point of the cut.
He had a good pitter patter. All you could have done is spliced in a pass rep.
I should have put it at the beginning. He had a really good rep against Bryce Young where he caught his momentum and he ripped. I love when tackles do that when they overextend and they just rip their arms down. You don't like that?
No, stay up sturdy. Be a brick wall.
Oh man, I feel like that's such good hand nuance that you know that like some defensive end's trying to bend the corner and just like I'm going to send your ass to the ground.
I prefer the false. The false nice sweet you're about to touch me and I'm knocking your hands down, not the I'm gonna yank you down and you
no, it's not a yank down, it's the hand clear that causes their momentum to fall.
That rules. I like that.
Instead of trying to reestablish a punch, it's just I'm gonna swipe down and you're gonna fall on your face.
Well, in the you know this, or maybe I'm gonna teach you this. I mean, in college you stand out as an offensive lineman because your feet are so much better than everyone's.
Yeah.
That's how you stand out. It's feet. And that's how you get to the NFL is you have the sweet feet as a person that's 6'7", 320 pounds. Like that's how you get there. But how you survive and thrive in the NFL is the hand fighting. That's what matters because everyone's feet are the same speed. You might say, oh, that fat ass right tackle, he can't keep up with Von Miller. Well, no, Von Miller basically disabled his one chance of touching him. And that because his hand fighting was so good. So I'm fine with it. I thought your cut up was adequate. Not your best, but it was good.
No,
not enough to make
best.
you walk around and say, "Oh God, did I make a bad cut up?"
Well, I mean, I wasn't like really doubting myself, but it was like, man, that I met. Should I take? I considered taking it down. I was like, is this such a bad?
Don't walk it back.
Non-ball lower. Right. I made the right
can't
move.
Walk it. Every time you walk it back, what happens in our True Scouts chat? You get crushed. You can't do it. Maybe you just need to go up to the roof and hang out with all those nice people up there and get some inspiration for your next cut up.
No.
Hey, you know what? I'm also going to say this briefly before I get effed. If I'm living in the same building as you and you're making a sourpuss face at me, just remember you're shitting in the same pipes that I am. Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I had a couple people make sourpuss faces when I was getting on the shuttle today.
What do you mean they were good? Wait, what?
Yeah, they were just kind of like, making a little face,
giving you a dirty look.
Kinda like oh,
why
not
do
this
you think
guy.
that was?
I don't know.
Taking up space?
I take up space, but I have my own seat. Everyone had their own seats. It was fine. I'm letting people know. Starting to take notice.
You're being discriminated against? Is that
no, not that much. But like, we're all living in the same building. You got to remember that. All right, you're not. No one's better than nobody here.
Yeah, well, right. We're also like in a nice building. I don't understand what that.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a long day for everyone, and maybe I just had that travel face where everyone looks like monsters, where you just had we had a long one, but
okay, what's your get effed?
Stay on notice here. My get effed, I guess technically this is Kyler Neal at Kyler EPH on Twitter, an EWU FCS guy, who decided to go out to AI and source the best FCS social media follows and best FCS shows / podcasts. This is according to AI. That's fine. I guess Kyler's disassociating himself from this list.
I feel like he put the list together and then he decided to place that it was according to AI. Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say
I find it hard to believe that AI has us at number 5.
So for the best FCS shows and podcasts, let's start here. 5. At Hack City Pod. That's us. Oh, that's nice. That's not bad. 4, FCS Fans Nation. Okay. We don't have beef with them. They've been fine with us. FCS Check Down. Like Brandon McCreary, he's a good dude. They do, they care about the FCS a lot. Sam Herder at number 2. That's fine. FCS Nation Radio 1. I have an issue with that. Their main guy was a bit of a jerk off on following us, and this is a little bit real beef here.
I still don't know what the guy. I still don't remember his name, nor do I remember.
Neither do I.
There's
because
2 of them or one of them. I don't.
He's
it's
irrelevant.
Been explained to me
and
so many times.
The Citadel is irrelevant, and he had his moments in the FCS space, and he built up a really good following, a big following. Good for him. But he's a clown show, and he holds grudges, and I think he thinks he's some badass. I don't like him. I don't like FCS Nation Radio. Stone Labanowitz, he's a good dude. I know he's affiliated with him. No problem with Stone. But whoever decided that they can't interact with Hack City, me or Joe or the account, they're
really weird about it.
That's
really
weird
about it.
That irritates me. I have no love for them. And then the best social media follows. FCS Nation Radio 1 at 3. The Blue Bloods 2. No issue with McKinnell. They do good work there. The Blue Bloods is fine with me. FCS Fans Nation 1. Where's Craig? AI? Where's Craig Haley at your social media follows? I'm going to show some love to the big man. I'm going to show some love to the Godfather currently in the FCS space. Craig Haley, AI, get familiarized with him because this list, joke stuff. Hack City should at least be top 2. Top 1.
Well, that's the first part.
If we didn't care about the NFL or other college football, that's what the situation would be. If this show put full focus into FCS football,
which I've tried to pitch to you,
we'd clear them all out. NFL's too good, though. I can't stop talking NFL. That's all I care about.
I think that there eventually is a world where we do more FCS stuff. I mean,
and our FCS followers are great. They're great.
The problem is like we could do FCS, but like talk about 4 teams. I don't know how entertaining that is.
Yeah, exactly. Not very. We got 32, and you could talk about all 32 when it comes to the NFL. And then there's about 45 in single A college football that you can excitedly talk about or have storylines going at all times. FCS, it's a lot. There's really great stories. There's really great players, hidden gems, great teams. There's history, but it's really spread out. And there's so many layers between bottom tier FCS teams, top tier FCS teams. It's tough. I think we try our best. I'm not claiming to ever be a Jamie Williams ball knower when it comes to it. And where the hell's Jamie on the FCS following list?
AI doesn't know shit.
AI doesn't know dick about the FCS, about the subdivision. I guess thank you, Kyler, for putting out the tweet. And thank you to the new followers. That's nice. But
did we get some new followers?
Got like 8 new followers.
Oh.
Got the Catamount Sports Forum followed us. That's nice. I'm not following them back.
Oh, those guys are dicks. I didn't like those guys.
But yeah, we picked up some nice follows today. So if anyone wants to mention us on social media, that's fine. But if you're going to mention us and have FCS Nation Radio ahead of us, I don't think it's going to go well, at least for me. Joe is not voicing as much of a strong opinion. I don't need him to because I don't think, he's dealing with some big fish. This is my fish right here. Don't go putting them above us because we do a better show and we're not clowns.
See, I just asked ChatGPT and it didn't ChatGPT and it didn't even include us.
What do they have? Where? So you know what? Maybe Kyler did put it together. What did he use? Grok? VO3?
I don't know.
Hey, Twitter, keep on trying to push your AI bullshit on me. I'm not biting. I don't care. Oh, I saw a video today where everyone was glazing it. Someone used Google's V03 to create a full street interview with a host and 2 random people, and it looks just like real life. So what does that mean? So we're just doing Google interviews now, and people are going to start scripting them?
But this is what right. That's not
horseshit.
I hope people are smart enough to realize. I think most people. It's just like with the metaverse. It's just like with crypto, where everyone's like, "This is how everything is going to change. We're all going to be doing it." No one's fucking doing any of that stuff. No one cares about any of that stuff. The real stuff happens in the reality of the things that we can create.
That's where Hawk Tua happens. That's where we get our reality.
It's a useful research tool. It is a useful tool for putting more detail into projects. It is something that is going to help people build spreadsheets. That's it. That's all it needs to be used for. It doesn't need to be used for anything else. We shouldn't use it to create media. That to me is the complete misuse. And I think it's dumb that people use it to make images. I think it's gross that people use it to make images.
Oh, do you? What's my contact photo in your phone?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I appreciate this newfound stance for my co-host so we can stand locked armed. I changed that photo.
Well, I have a better photo of you now of the one in the background of Chance's picture, so I might change it to
I told him not to post that. I said, dude, what are you doing?
The worst picture you ever. Oh, he clearly doesn't respect you right now.
Dude, I was sitting there. I'm like, I'm all effed up, just trying to walk through this nice apartment. I'm just trying to find my seat. He's standing in front of a mirror, taking a photo. I say, hey, man, just don't have me in the background of this photo. It's fine. Take another. You're going to do the same pose. Why wouldn't he post it? Why wouldn't he use it?
Because he doesn't respect you.
I got some ammo on him. I got some photos.
What do you got?
Oh, we all got photos. We all got photos with people in the back or people forking their mouths full of cheeseburger and fries with the mouth again. We all got them. So maybe I'll get a nice little super good Sunday meal, and Chance will be there in the background, not knowing he's being photographed. Bit of a different situation.
All right. Let's close out on that note. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. We'll be back. We need voicemails 201-834-4308. At Hack City Pod, at Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio. Did I just do that already? No, I didn't do that. I'm losing steam here. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your week.